Miss Hipstar, Ashima out wide. Stella Magic's making late headway back nearer the inside. Miss Hipstar and also Ashima from Stella Magic. Miss Hipstar in front from Ashima, Stella Magic. Miss Hipstar's in front near the line. Punch out Miss Hipstar. Here's Private Eye emerging down the outside. Further back to Kukaracha. Apache Chase a length and a half clear. Working home Private Eye. Between them Kukaracha. It's Apache Chase and Private Eye. Private Eye the outside grabs the lead away from Apache Chase, Kukaracha, and it's Private Eye. Late Nicanova, likewise Panino down the outside, trekking. Nicanova flashing through, late Vega 1. Nicanova's grabbed the lead. Nicanova!
Welcome to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival show, brought to you by puntingform.com.au and topsport.com.au, Australia's biggest betting bookie. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm joined by Johnny Mcleod from MacBet and the Windsor Weasel, Tommy Turbo Henjak himself. How are you guys?
Good, mate. Real good.
Yeah, good, thanks. Enjoyed a good 3 days in the chat room on the live stream. It was very enjoyable.
Exactly. We managed to scrape out a small loss and a little bit of self-respect, but it was a tough 3 days at the Bull. I'll tell you what, it's the freshest I've ever been pulling out of the Warrnambool Carnival. Very safe here in South Melbourne. There'll be some wounded sore heads. So hopefully this video can find people on the way back in the car or picking themselves up for the racing this week. It's amazing racing all around the country. Caulfield, Morpheville. There's the Gosford meeting that's underwater. We've already recorded the Bet Doctor show, so make sure you check that out. We did a live show there, but I tell you what, it's all about Brisvegas. The carnival's starting to heat up, and these guys last week, you heard it on the intro. It was absolutely sensational. We previewed 4 races, got 3 right, and it was only Garibaldi we missed out on. So seeing him like beach balls early, and I reckon we call up the replay of the one that we've missed out on, and that was Garibaldi. And maybe I'll pose a question to you, Johnny Mcleod. What was Michael Rodd thinking? He's in the black with the white sleeves out the back. Why didn't he just pull out to the outside?
Yeah, he sort of had to make a decision there. The only problem is that, I always say in slow run races you've got to look for runs. You can't run a sectional to get down levers in a soft pace. Now he actually nearly did, so it was a miracle run. It was an unbelievable run. But I think he sort of was, when he went to the inside the first go, he probably didn't wait long enough. I would have thought he panicked and then sort of thought, I'm in here, I shouldn't be in here, I should be coming out. So we had to make a decision one way or the other. He was a very half-hearted, and I think that's what probably cost him the race. I think if he would have said, okay, I'm coming out, he wins. And if he goes in, he probably doesn't win. But, I wouldn't have blamed him completely just because of my thoughts about slow pace, races. You've got to look for runs, fast run races. You've always got to come out. You can't look for runs in fast run races because all the horses that are going hard in front come back in your lap. So, that's my rule with pace and telling jockeys what to do when there's speed on, not speed.
Yeah, with all that rain around, there's plenty of kickback on the Eagle Farm surface. How do you think the track will recover? Big carnival coming up.
As John said last week, they have been doing a bit of verti drain, so with all the rain, it really loosens up the turf. I think over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be really hard for horses with a turn of foot to really make up ground. That's how I'll probably be playing it.
And what about the horses to follow from last weekend? I thought Vega 1 was a really good run. I think he did more than most people expected. Johnny Mcleod, have you got a horse to follow for the carnival off from that meeting?
Probably. It's a bad meeting to actually make a comment on too much. Garibaldi went like a bomb, but just because of the way the rain came and it just pissed down, about race 4 or whatever it was just terrible. And so it was very hard to get a handle on the sectionals and that sort of stuff and what they've actually run. So it's a matter of whether you've got confidence in those sectionals. If you have, well then Garibaldi's gone like a bomb. Miss Hot Star, it's a horse that I think it's won a 1,000-metre race, which I don't think it's a 1,000-metre horse on type. She's probably going to get 1,100 metres, and she's one that's going to just keep on improving. She's probably been better than them so far just because she's been more mature than the rest of the 2-year-olds, and they're going to catch up on But at the moment, she's still a big bull of the mare, a filly. So I think she's going to keep on improving.
And what about you, Turbo? Horse to follow from the weekend?
Garibaldi's probably the obvious one, but maybe one at a bit of odds next prep. Cucaracha, it's come back gelded, second up on the weekend in a really fast run race. I think it can improve. Its last 200 was solid enough to follow it up in distance next start.
Okay, Cucaracha from Turbo there. And this week we're off to the Gold Coast for Hollindale Stakes. How's the track likely to play this week, guys? And what about the weather up there? I see Johnny's got the jumper on and you've got a bit of a sniffle, Turbo. The weather's changed.
Yeah, so the Gold Coast, the last couple of meetings, the rail's been well out and it's been playing very leaderish. We had a fair bit of rain. I think it was either yesterday or... was it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
It must have been Wednesday, yeah. So it's probably I've treated as probably like a soft 7. They'll definitely be cut out of the ground and expect them to be coming probably 5 off the fence down the middle. I expect them to be staying away from that inside pad of ground, even though it is back in the true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to have a look at 4 races today. We're going to have a look at the Goldmarket and the Ken Russell, the Hollindale Stakes. There's plenty of familiar horses up from the southern states there, and many of those, I'm surprised, aren't in the retirement barn. But the Gold Coast Guineas is another race we're going to have a look at. This show is brought to you by puntingform.com.au, Australia's best online form guide and database. You can actually buy your raw data and you can plug that into your models as well. So make sure if you're betting in Brisvegas, puntingform.com.au will give you that data. Up next, we're going to talk Goldmarket and the Ken Russell. Welcome back to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival show. The boys were on fire last week, so it's time to look at the Goldmarket. We've got odds courtesy of topsport.com.au on the screen. Racecourse Road is the favourite, 390. Stampy, 650 into 480. Wisdom of Water, 550. Baller, surprisingly, has been $10 into 750. Scolopini, $9. And Passage of Time, $9.50. We've got Tommy Henjak and Johnny Mcleod from MacBet Racing to preview these races. And the Goldmarket, the replay we're going to show here is Stampy in the red and the white stripes with the black sleeves and cap. Talk us through this one, lads.
Yep. So Stampy, this is out of last week's Group 2 Victory Stakes, the one with the black cap, as you said. What I liked about this run was it showed that it's up to this level. It has returned in good order, and it also handles the wet, which is what we're going to see at the Gold Coast on the weekend. This looks a hot run, 1,200 metres, in my opinion. You've got Capital Connection you can push forward. Boom Sarah first up with the blinkers on, the stablemate, and the leader should be Racecourse Road. So I think you'll be looking for a horse that can get over 1,400 metres and sustain a long kind of run. And I think the horse that fits the bill there is Stampy. The only kind of question mark in my mind is they've gone the quick backup after 120 days off, which is you don't see very often, but drops down to 54 kilograms here with Craig Williams on board. Should be able to slot in midfield and be strongest late, I think.
Looking at the punting form speed map that you guys have provided for us, looks a ton of speed here. And a few of the southern state followers will notice a horse, Wisdom of Water. I thought he was an interesting runner. He's got a really good record at the Gold Coast, and he was pretty good in Sydney, I thought, against the stronger horses. What are your thoughts, Tommy?
Yeah, it was probably one I was keen to be against. I thought it was was okay first up and then disappointing second up. The interesting kind of thing here is Capital Connection was first up the other day at 1,200, which was a really fast run race. Gets the 2.5 kilo weight swing on Racecourse Road, and you'd think being a Golden runner would take suitable improvement out of that run. So wasn't sure there'd be too much between them and the market. It was very strange.
Racecourse Road looks very, very short indeed. So Stampy is the pick from Tommy Turbo, and I'm going to forgive Wisdom of Water one more start. Let's have a look at race 5. Oh, sorry.
That race 4, Scoot. Is Boom Sarah's stablemate to Stampy?
Yeah.
So Boom Sarah, he's going to have to make a decision from that wide gate, and he might put some pressure on Racecourse Road, which is going to spread them out a little bit. Capital Connection showing speed, which is going to allow Stampy to slot in behind them. So there could be some little bit of tactics here, or you'll be surprised that they don't use some sort of tactics to help Stampy out. And also with what you're saying, Scoot, about Vega 1 going all right the other day, well, I think Stampy and Vega 1 were probably on level weights, if not, Stampy, just not sure. It was a weight for age race. And now, he probably went just as good as Vega 1 in that race, but he got stopped. So you put Vega 1 in on Stampy's weight here, it'd be nice and sure. So, there's a few little pushes and shoves for Stampy here, but, Tom, what you're saying about Stampy backing it up second, straight away in a week, that's horrific. I hate that. But so it's a bit of a, you take 2 steps forward and 1 step forward, 1 step back. But, with this type of horse, but, if you give it 1 more week, or he had another week under his belt, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's fascinating to see how he'll recover from that Eagle Farm surface. But Craig Williams is a nice little jockey change for Justin Huxtable, which was probably just a victim of circumstances last start. But yeah, he definitely got stood in his head if you go back and watch that replay. Yeah, it'll be fascinating. I don't mind the team riding. Don't mind when they throw in a couple of spanners into the works. But let's have a look at the Ken Russell Memorial. We've got the odds up on the screen, courtesy of topsport.com.au, and Ranch Hand. There's an early scratching, but it's still been 340 into 260. We've got Mr. Larrabee, 650, Subterranean, $7, Debussy, $8.50, Baby Wong, $9.50, and Dovetail Diva, $11. The replay you guys have asked us to call up here is Dovetail Diva. It's in the light blue, dark blue sleeves and cap. Take us away, Johnny.
Yeah, let's Dovetail Diva second now. But what we didn't see prior to that was it was 3 and 4 wide, and he was going to start and going back, and then he had to work around to second. Now he's done a bit of work to get there, and now he's trying to knuckle down and get down the leader. The leader come out, I think, and won a race straight after it. I know this is only a maiden, but he put his head down. They put plenty of cash on it this day, and he's a nice horse. He's a big, nice type. It's just a matter of where he goes to from this gate. But I like the horse. I don't think this race is that good. Did you say that Ranch Hand's not coming, or is it scratched? Or did you say something that's...
No, it's just been backed. It's 340 into 260.
Yeah, well, he's a horse that, like last time he was here, he was I think he was lame, and he pulled his head off a little bit in behind him, and he chased, and then all of a sudden something got him down. Now, I think he looks like more of a 1,400 metre horse for each end, but he's going to get into a nice spot. But 260 short enough, But I was just looking for something wide with Dovetail Diva, and hopefully he can just manoeuvre into about midfield 3 wide with a bit of cover. That's the question mark, whether he can do that. The only problem that I've got here is that what you were saying earlier, Tom, is that I think leaders are going to go pretty good here. They're all going to get away from the inside. They're going to be spearing out to that 5 to 7 lane. It's going to make horses back in the field come on the inferior ground, switching back to the inside, or even coming wider. And we've seen this track play very leaderish a while ago on a wet track, but they all got out to the middle, and it was very hard to make ground. And it could be the case here again. If they all spear out there, it's going to be a very sticky, gluey track. And, it's going to take away from the horses that have got to turn a foot. And you sort of want a horse that can really grind it out up on speed and keep on whacking away. Whether that's the case with Dovetail Diva, it was 25 to 1 when I was thinking I had a nice hope yesterday morning. It's in the 12 now. 12s, that's about the price I've got it. So.
Interesting, yeah. So we want a nice positive ride, and the guys are expecting that the inside to chop out a bit throughout the day. We're going to take a short little break and preview the Hollindale Stakes and the Gold Coast Guineas next. And if you're having a bet this weekend, make sure you bet with topsport.com.au. They've been in the game for 35 years. Bet with a bookmaker you can trust. Bet with topsport.com.au. Welcome back to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival show. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm joined by the Windsor Weasel, Tommy Turbo Henjak, and Johnny Mcleod. They're zipping through the races here and they were on fire last week, so make sure you take note here. We've got the Gold Coast Guineas, the 1,200 metre race for 3-year-olds. Mark it up on the screen now, courtesy of topsport.com.au. We've got Simply Fly, $4.40, Marbusha, $4.80, Lord Olympus, $5, Rocketing By has been the mover, $6 into $5, Immortal Love, $8.50, Kishikano, $9, and Amish Boy, $9.50. That rounds out the major chances there, but the replay the guys have asked here is Marbusha. You'll see her in the green with the white sash, and she's got the big white baldy face out wide, just hooking around the back of them here in the white cap. Talk us through this.
Yeah, he's sort of two from the outside now, the green, the white cap. What I liked about him here, he was wide. I don't think it was too bad to be a little bit wide, but he just kept coming. He's a very strong horse. Just knuckle down, put some horses that go okay, better horses than what we've got here. And he's just strong. That just keeps on coming. So I thought it was a nice run. The question mark here is just what Vern does. He's a bit of a map guy, Jim Vern, or he used to be. So he's going to know that there's not a lot of speed on here. And if he can get around to, fourth, he's just got to go forward a little bit. I keep on sort of reiterating about this track. You just don't want to be too far away. If he sort of comes out a bit negative, well, then all of a sudden he's going to be midfield, maybe a touch worse and wide, and he's out of play. So I'm just hoping he goes forward a little bit and just puts some sort of pressure on the horses inside of him, and they might sort of relinquish the lead and get up there. So I think he's got a nice chance because he's a big, strong horse and just keeps on coming.
This is the market. We've got Simply Fly from Toowoomba, Rexlet Train. It's the favourite, and Rocketing By has been the one they're back, but the form lines are from everywhere here. You've got Melbourne horses, Sydney horses colliding, Kishikano. Like it's won at the track a few times. It looks like a nightmare to me. I definitely won't be playing until really late into this one. It looks a raffle. What about you, Turbo? Any thoughts here?
Yeah, the main lead-up's the Mick Dittman Plate, which was 2 weeks ago at Doom, and there was a really slow tempo there, and that's where we saw Lord Olympus kind of carve a passage between them, what was a bit of a miracle, I think. I thought the DF would be potent here. I didn't mind Johnny's pick, Marbusha, and I was kind of, look, if Amish Boy had drawn a gate, I'd be absolutely all over it. Bowman didn't give it much of a chance last start in the Arrowfield, which is a much stronger form reference, went back to the inside, which was the inferior ground. But yeah, from gate 14, not really sure where he gets to.
He's got a couple of good rides, Giant McNeil. He's got his work cut out for him from that wide gate, though, that is for sure. Make sure you check out MacBet on Twitter. You can follow their yard mail and get the up-to-date yard perspective from Johnny. We saw him in action on the Bulldozer live stream. I think every race that he talked about, he previewed 2 or 3 races for us and found the winner in all of them. But get his yard mail at MacBet Tips on Twitter there. So we're going to kick across now to the Hollindale Stakes. It's an 1,800 metre weight for age encounter, and it's got the odds courtesy of topsport.com.au on the screen now. And Avilius has been the one they've backed early, $6 into $4.80. Melody Bell, $7. 50 stars has been 9 into $8.50. Also a bit of money there. Homesman, $9.50. Shared Ambition, $11. And there's plenty of familiar faces there in the Hollindale Stakes. But the replay we're going to play here is Avilius last start in the Godolphin Blue. Talk us through this one, Tommy.
Yeah, so this is I'm pretty keen on Avilius here, the big A. The Doncaster, he was chasing horses with 50 kilos on their back, and Mugger2, who's got to be one of the best horses in Australia going around right now. I just really like him at weight for age here. I think he's actually going okay. The first 2 runs, this preparation were absolute dynamite, and he gets the 4 weeks off going into this. Parody, Homesman, Triptonic, they'll push the speed here around the bend, look to slacken it off. So he won't naturally want to be too far back, but I think he can blend in about midfield. And look, he's got a really good turn of foot, loves sting out of the track. And look, if there's a jockey in Australia where you want vigor late to get the most out of a horse that might have a bit of a think, it's Natural Willer. So I think he's going to suit Avilius down to the ground, and I thought $5 was pretty generous in my opinion. He met Zaki there in the Doncaster, gets a weight swing. And yeah, I think Mr. Seawolf is also a rough chance from gate one. I think he'll be, once they slacken off that speed, he'll be able to sneak a run up the inside, make some cheap ground. And he's got the same platform here from when he came second in 2019, coming from the 1,500 metre Rose Hill Doncaster Prelude, 35 days off with a tick over trial up to the 1,800. Admittedly, that was a weaker race 2 years ago, but I think he's some knockout chance at $21 or whatnot.
What about you, Johnny? This looks a complete raffle to my eye.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The only thing I'm thinking about Avilius is a blast from the past. Like if he was the same horse that he was 2 years ago, he could probably be slow out by 3 or 4 lengths and still beat these. Back then he was just a freak. He just had a really good turn of foot and just put him away a lot of times. So he's going to get back in the field, and I just didn't like really that last little bit of his time. You'd want him to, just run through the line a little bit more than what he did. That's the only question mark. I thought Homesman, it was a nice win the other day. He gets up there, he just keeps on batting away, and you'll be able to put some pressure on him early. And as I said, he's a one pacing thing that will just keep on grinding. And who's going to try to get past him? And the turn of foot horse is Avilius, and maybe even 50 Stars. But 50 Stars is going to have to go back from the gate and give him a start as well. And Homesman's going to be up there whacking away. So I'd probably lean towards the 3 if I was sort of forcing my hand. But she's a tough race as well.
I'd be probably the same way. I thought he was really good in the Australian Cup. Nice little let up, and he can pick off a couple of these races up here. I think he'd definitely be the way I'd be leaning. As I said, Giant McNeil's got a good little book of rides there, and I think he wouldn't be worth. He'd be probably worth a bet in the Jockey Challenge markets. Also, not really market I play in too often. But let's have a look at the.
I scooped the other day with Nick and Over. You've killed them.
The wet tracks seem to suit me, but I got a little bit lucky there, and the seas parted, and for a moment there when he was sort of hung up along the fence, I thought, oh, here we go again. He's got heaps of horse. Let's just find some clear ground. But there was a little bit of money around for him, and some of it was mine. But I was buoyed by the confidence from all the winners that you tipped me. So it's going to be a great meeting up at the Gold Coast and the Winter Carnival. There's just lots of setup jobs, so these guys know what they're talking about. So make sure you take plenty of notes. Let's have a look at the TopSport Big Bets here. We've got the Gold Coast Guineas as the first one rocketing by. We've already spoken about this horse, 1,000 at $6. And the other big one there is the Hollindale Stakes, 1,000 at $9.50 on 50 Stars, a horse that plenty of you guys will be familiar with. But it'd be interesting to see how William Pike adapts to the racing up in Queensland. And we sort of spoke about this a couple of weeks ago on our show, Bet Doctor, and I noticed that you put in a little bit of a barb to DK to rev him up. Who would you have riding for your life? Johnny Mcleod, you threw in a barb. Ryan Maloney, I know you were taking the absolute piss out of DK, but I think Tommy Turbo touched on it too. A lot of our viewers mentioned Natural Willer. I know that Johnny Mcleod has tipped up Spirit's Edge with Nash on board, and Mark Zara was another popular one. At the moment, he went down to Warrnambool yesterday and just went 2 from 2. But the question for maybe you first, Turbo, who would you have riding for your life?
For my life, I'll probably go with an up-and-coming claimant, Kyle Wilson-Taylor.
Hey, that's not so silly. I know a really good mate of mine who used to be the manager of Mick Dittman at that. He, when Zach Burton and Michael Wadd were coming through the ranks, he thinks he's a better jockey than those two. So It's not a silly comment. If this kid goes good, he's just got to keep his head on his shoulders, and he will be. Well, if Golan grabs him when he comes to town, he's going to ride plenty of winners.
What about you, Johnny? Who would you have riding for your life? In all seriousness,
I'd say Nash and Zach.
Nash and Zach.
Yeah, I think Zach's got a bit of bulldog in him, and if I had to sort of say if I had my cash on and in the past, it'd be G Hall because he'd just do anything to win. It'd just be just get out of my way. I'm coming through. I'll never forget. What was that horse that started with M? The blue car.
Mahogany.
Lloyd's.
Mahogany.
Mahogany. Holy moly. That's just, that was terrifying stuff. And he just said, okay, I'm coming through. Get out of my way, boys.
Fantastic stuff. Hopefully Nash is on song on the weekend, and there's a couple of interesting jockey changes. But to recap, I think Tommy's best is Stampy if he can handle the 7-day backup, and I really like the push that Johnny Mcleod gave Marbusha. Looks like a bit of a class edge perhaps with Marbusha. Really hit the line strongly. So big watch on the track, and make sure you head to MacBet Racing to check out these guys' action. They were on fire last week, nailed nearly all 4 races, and I think with a little bit of luck, the boys can find you guys at home plenty of winners. Good luck on the weekend, Johnny and Tommy, and thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next week.
Off to Brecky.
Thanks, guys. That was your second edition of Brisvegas, and we'll see you back next week for more Queensland Winter Carnival action.